One of those things is definitely, we're always interested when we look at diplomats like yourself, is what your journey to Vietnam is like. How did you learn to speak Vietnamese? What's your story about that?
Vâng, tôi có thể nói tiếng Việt vì tôi đã học tiếng Việt rất lâu. Tôi bắt đầu học tiếng Việt vào năm 1992 ở thành phố Melbourne khi tôi bắt đầu làm việc ở Bộ Ngoại giao rồi. Như vậy đây là lý do tôi có thể nói một ít gốc thôi ở thành phố Adelaide ở Nam Úc, và tôi ở đây cho đến khi tôi 7 tuổi. Sau đó 4 tuổi chuyển sang thành phố khác ở bang New South Wales, ở thành phố Newcastle để làm việc, và sau đó đến thành phố Darwin ở Bắc Úc. Và đây là lý do tôi vẫn trẻ. Tôi biết rất nhiều về nước Úc và cũng biết một ít về thế giới. Và tôi luôn luôn muốn biết nhiều hơn. Và đây là lý do khi tôi về thành phố Adelaide và bắt đầu học ở trường đại học Adelaide, tôi rất muốn biết rất nhiều hơn về khu vực Đông Nam Á. Và tôi cũng muốn trong tương lai làm việc về vấn đề liên lạc với khu vực Đông Nam Á. Như vậy khi tôi bắt đầu học ở trường đại học Adelaide, tôi rất muốn chú ý về chính trị và lịch sử khu vực Đông Nam Á, và sau 1-2 năm tôi chú ý về nước Việt Nam. Như vậy khi tôi bắt đầu làm việc ở Bộ Ngoại giao, tôi rất muốn chú ý nhiều hơn về Việt Nam.
It's so great to be able to see, you speak Vietnamese. You're really good at it, almost perfect. Or 100% perfect, just like a Vietnamese person. And since you're a professional diplomat, what is your advice for young people wanting to go into the field? What should they study? What kind of personality should they develop for themselves? What kind of experiences should they seek?
It's an interesting question these days, because coming into the profession of diplomacy in the 21st century is a little bit different to when I entered it in the 1990s. Back then, it was more of a traditional focus on politics and historical knowledge and economic knowledge. These days, anyone can come into the profession as a diplomat, because, going back to what I just said, we have such a broad partnership. So we need experts in education, we need experts in agriculture, we need experts in science and innovation. So my advice is that if you feel that you want to serve your country internationally and you feel that you have something that you can contribute, then focus on those skills. And then when you go to apply for a job in diplomacy, you've got a lot more to bring to the table. You can put your case that as a scientist or an innovator, or indeed a political expert, you've got something that will help contribute to Vietnam's relations with the world. That's the way it certainly works in the Australian system at the moment. So with that in mind, I would encourage anyone who's got an interest in diplomacy to focus on their strengths. Of course, you need international knowledge. It doesn't hurt to have a knowledge of international languages as well, but you should focus on what you individually bring to the job. Because to me, diplomacy is about, perhaps more than any other profession, it's about being yourself and bringing what you have to the table so that you can build relationships of influence and do good for your country. So if you feel that you're a person who likes to build relationships, if you have an interest in people and people-to-people links, and then you have some other skills, I would encourage you to focus on those and think about what the package is that you bring to the profession. In terms of your study at university, I think it doesn't hurt to be either broad or specialist. But what really matters to me is a knowledge of the broader world and being able to demonstrate that you have engaged with the world, that you're interested in what lies beyond your own horizons, and that you understand that we live in a globalised world and that that's where the business of diplomacy takes place. And one more thing I might just note is that in the post-pandemic world, we are really going to have a need for experts who can operate in new and different ways, and particularly those with a digital knowledge and innovative knowledge, who understand that you can conduct the business of diplomacy face-to-face, which is the traditional way, and I still think that's very important, but also through many, many different platforms and using different tools. So people who are part of the 21st century and have that innovative digital knowledge, I think, will do very well in any profession, but particularly, I think, diplomacy.
So thank you for sharing with us your very personal story and for the insightful comments.